Okay, let's dive right into this. 15. I want you to fixate on that number for a second. That is the exact percentage of total marks currently hanging in the balance in your Cambridge Information Technology Paper 2, specifically tied to Topic 2.4. We're talking about the critical evaluation of custom versus off-the-shelf software. Now, I know what you might be thinking. It's just software definitions. I've got this. But here is the brutal reality. 15% is literally the difference between a B and an A star. It's the difference between missing your university offer and securing your absolute top choice. Yet year after year, the principal examiner reports tell us the exact same tragic story. Thousands of students are just throwing these marks away. And the craziest part? It is not because they don't understand the basic definitions of software. It's because they completely misinterpret the command words, and they lack a concrete analytical strategy. They walk in blind. Well, today, we change that. We are going to navigate by the stars, your key command words, and chart a direct, undeniable course to top marks. Let's get to work. Welcome, focused learners, to this complete strategy session and explainer on mastering the pros and cons of custom versus off-the-shelf software. I'm your strategist, and whether you are tackling Cambridge syllabus codes of 0417, 0478, 2210, 9618, or our main focus today, 9626, you need to understand that the examiner's mind operates on the exact same frequency across every single paper. To really get this, I want you to imagine a scenario. Two students walk into the exam hall. On the left, we have Alex. Now, Alex has memorized literally every textbook definition of custom software, but when he sees the question, he just unloads a massive block of raw facts onto the exam paper with absolutely zero analysis. It's a total data dump. On the right, we have Sam. Sam kind of understands the real-world application, but the clock is ticking, so Sam rushes and completely misses the specific command word requirements like evaluate or analyze. Over the next few minutes, we are going to look at their totally flawed answers, we're going to watch the examiner's red pen just tear them apart, and then, most importantly, we are going to rebuild those answers into perfect, top-tier responses together.
Here is our step-by-step blueprint for today's session. First, we tackle the 15% trap. Second, we lay down the core theoretical principles. Third, we unlock the method mark strategy. Fourth, we master critical analysis. And finally, we'll go over the top 3 examiner warnings so you don't step on any landmines.
Right, let's jump straight into section 1, the 15% trap. This is where dreams of an A-star usually go to die.
This specific trap completely catches out students like Alex and Sam when they mistake a requirement for deep analysis with a request for a simple list. Let's say you sit down, open your paper, and you get a classic past paper question asking you to evaluate custom-written software for a new, highly specialized medical clinic. Alex immediately writes, "Custom software is made for one user, it takes a long time to build, and it is very expensive." Boom, 0 marks for evaluation. Sam writes, "The clinic should buy off-the-shelf software because it's cheaper and ready right now." Again, maybe 1 mark if the examiner is feeling generous. Do you see the problem? Neither of them actually answered the question being asked. The biggest hurdle you face in this exam isn't learning the facts. Come on, you already know what off-the-shelf software is. The real hurdle is transferring those fundamental principles to entirely new, completely unfamiliar contexts. The examiner doesn't give a single point for knowing the definition. They want to know if you can apply that definition to a specialized medical clinic, a global logistics firm, or a local bakery. It is 100% about the context. If you just list facts, you are permanently trapped in the lower mark bands. To break out and secure those top grades, you need a strategy that physically forces you to link your knowledge to the specific scenario provided in the prompt.
And that brings us perfectly into section 2, core theoretical principles and building your foundational architecture.
Okay, whether the question is about custom or off-the-shelf software, you absolutely must master the precise definitions and causal relationships across these 4 key pillars: degree of testing, level of support, cost, and adaptability. These are your heavy hitters. Let's break them down. For testing, remember that off-the-shelf software has been rigorously tested by hundreds of thousands of users out in the real world, meaning catastrophic bugs are incredibly rare. Custom software, on the other hand, requires massive, expensive testing phases by the client, and bugs are almost guaranteed at launch. For support, off-the-shelf has these vibrant online communities, massive forums, and huge international help desks. Custom relies entirely on the original developers. If they go out of business, you are completely stranded. Cost is pretty obvious. You're looking at shared development costs across a massive user base versus bearing the entire financial burden yourself. And adaptability, while custom is tailored to your exact quirky workflow, while off-the-shelf basically forces you to adapt your entire business workflow to match the software. But listen to me carefully. Just knowing this table isn't enough.
We need a structural framework to actually write it down on the page. Enter the PEEL framework. You need to write this down. Point, evidence, explanation, link. First, you make your point about one of these 4 pillars. Then you provide evidence directly from the exam scenario. Next, you explain why that evidence matters in the real world. And finally, you link it back to the main question to seal the deal.
Before we continue, subscribe to our YouTube channel Ace the Exams at acetheexams_IGCSE to excel in your Cambridge examinations. Click that subscribe button and hit the bell icon right now. Okay, back to it. Here is a massive insider tip straight from the Principal Examiner reports. If you want to elevate that PEEL paragraph we just talked about to the absolute top band, you need to integrate this topic with other syllabus areas. The examiner notes specifically state that reference in cross-topic connections achieves significantly higher marks. Let me give you an example. If you are discussing the cost of custom software, do not just talk about the programmer's salary. That's basic. Connect it to hardware. Mention that custom software can be specifically optimized to run on the company's existing legacy hardware, saving massive capital expenditure, whereas an off-the-shelf solution might require a complete, expensive hardware upgrade just to meet the minimum system requirements. Connecting topic 2.4 to hardware specifications or data security protocols shows the examiner you have a master-level, holistic understanding of computer science. You aren't just memorizing, you are engineering solutions.
Let's step into Section 3 where things get really practical, the method mark strategy and procedural framework.
In Cambridge IT exams, marks are frequently awarded for the analytical process itself, not just the final recommendation you make. The examiner desperately wants to see your brain working on the page. We call this the deconstruct, solve, evaluate sequence. Let's take Alex's terrible fact dump answer from earlier and rewrite it live right now using these steps. Step 1. Identify the given information. The scenario is a highly specialized medical clinic. Step 2. Break it into logical steps. We know we need to evaluate testing, support, cost, and adaptability for this clinic. Step 3. Solve systematically using our PEEL framework. So the new, high-scoring answer becomes, while custom software has a significantly higher initial development cost, the highly specialized nature of the medical clinic means standard, off-the-shelf medical software may lack critical, niche patient features. By developing a custom solution, the clinic ensures 100% adaptability to their unique patient workflows, ultimately saving time and preventing potential medical errors. Therefore, despite the heavy financial cost, custom software is the safer, more efficient choice for this specific context. Boom! Do you see the difference? That right there is a 100% mark potential answer. It has the point, the evidence from the clinic, the explanation of workflow, and the final link.
Now, before we fix Sam's answer, listen closely. Stop scrolling. Subscribe to our YouTube channel Ace the Exams at acetheexams_IGCSE to excel in your Cambridge examinations. We've helped thousands of students improve by 2 to 3 grade boundaries. Join them right now by subscribing to acetheexams_IGCSE and turn on all notifications so you never miss our weekly exam strategy sessions. Okay, let's fix Sam's rushed answer. The crucial point here is that practical application requires following strict conventions to demonstrate professional IT skills. Sam just scribbled "buy off the shelf" because it's cheaper. To fix this, we must apply correct terminology and format. Instead of just saying cheaper, Sam needs to write benefits from economies of scale. Instead of saying ready right now, Sam needs to use professional phrasing like immediate deployment timeline, effectively bypassing the lengthy software development lifecycle. Examiners are sticklers for formatting. By using proper headings to structure your argument, utilizing correct IT terminology, applying appropriate formats like a structured report if asked, and using clear annotations, you are signaling to the examiner that you are a professional IT student, not just someone making a desperate random guess in the final 5 minutes of the exam.
All right, welcome to Act 4, Critical Analysis. Let's put everything we've learned into practice with a rapid-fire interactive workshop. The absolute top-tier students evaluate alternatives by exploring both sides of the coin, supporting each comparison with solid evidence. We have 3 challenges here. For Challenge 1, I'm putting 60 seconds on the clock in your mind. I want you to mentally scan the concept of level of support. What is the core trend between off-the-shelf and custom? Think about it. Okay, the core trend is that off-the-shelf offers broad, generalized support, often 24/7 through huge international call centers. But custom offers deep, highly specialized support directly from the creators, though it might only be during local business hours. Now for Challenge 2, find the flaw. I'm going to read a sample paragraph, and I want you to spot exactly why it lost marks. Ready? Off-the-shelf software has a large user base, so bugs are found quickly. Custom software is made for one user. Did you catch the flaw? The flaw is the complete lack of comparative connectives. The student just stated two totally isolated facts. To actually get the marks, you must explicitly connect them in a single analytical thought. Off-the-shelf software benefits from rapid bug identification due to a massive user base, whereas custom software, being restricted to a single user environment, relies entirely on the original developers for extensive and often slower fault testing. You must explicitly identify the similarities and the differences using words like whereas, however, in contrast, or conversely.
Moving into Challenge 3, the Speed Writing Challenge. This is all about prioritizing analytical depth over superficial breadth. Listen, instead of giving the examiner 4 really shallow basic points about custom software, we want one incredibly deep, multi-layered point about adaptability. I want you to think about how custom software scales, or how you don't have to pay massive licensing fees for every single new employee you hire. Here's what a genuinely deep, analytical A-star answer looks like. While an off-the-shelf solution provides immediate utility, its rigid architecture severely limits long-term adaptability. As the organization expands, per-user licensing costs will exponentially increase. Conversely, a custom-built system requires a heavier initial capital expenditure, but offers infinite scalability without recurring licensing penalties, making it significantly more cost-effective over a 10-year operational lifespan. Do you see the profound difference there? Examiners are desperately looking for justified conclusions about relative importance over time, not just a superficial, bulleted list of basic textbook facts.
We are in the home stretch. Let's move to Section 5, the top 3 examiner warnings, pulled straight from the grading room.
Here is your final system. These are the 3 classic traps identified in past papers that cause students to needlessly hemorrhage marks. Warning number 1, using the wrong approach for the wrong context. If the exam prompt asks about a local, nonprofit charity with a budget of 0, and you enthusiastically recommend a $100,000 custom software build simply because it's more adaptable, you have completely failed the context test. You must evaluate the scenario's real-world constraints. Warning number 2, forgetting format and presentation. We discussed this with our method mark strategy. If the command word asks for a report, you write a report. Use headers. If it asks for a comparison, you better be using those comparative connectives like whereas. Warning number 3, providing generic answers. Let me be clear, this is the deadliest trap of them all. Writing "it is fast" or "it is cheap" is basically meaningless in computer science. Why is it fast? How is it cheap? You have to manage your time matrix to ensure every single claim you make is backed up by specific, undeniable evidence from the prompt.
Look at this quote on the screen. This isn't just friendly advice. This is the literal grading rubric boiled down into one sentence. Always link every point to the given scenario. This is your ultimate memory hack. This is the golden rule for surviving topic 2.4, and frankly, any written paper in Cambridge, IT, or computer science. Think of it like this. If your sentence can apply to a hospital, a school, and a bank all at the exact same time, it is way too generic, and it will not score marks. Your answer must be so razor-specific that it only makes logical sense for the unique scenario the examiner just handed you. That is the true computer science success blueprint. Decode the command word, apply the PL framework, and link relentlessly to the context. Now, students who implement these computer science strategies see an average improvement of 2 grade boundaries, but only if they practice consistently with our weekly videos. So here's your final reminder. Subscribe to our YouTube channel Ace the Exams at acetheexams_IGCSE to excel in your Cambridge examinations. Subscribe right now to acetheexams_IGCSE and click that bell. Don't let another exam pass you by. Also, drop a comment below with your target grade for computer science and the biggest challenge you're facing. Our team responds to every comment. Like and share this video with a study partner. Ace the Exams, your Cambridge success starts here.
So, I leave you with this final provocative question. Will your next practice answer simply list facts like Alex did, or will it systematically solve the specific scenario provided like an absolute master? The choice and your final grade is entirely up to you. Decode those command words, apply the framework, and go secure those marks. I'll see you in the next strategy session.